Well, I would say these are signs of total enlightenment, but it just is a state of being. And so we'll call it the signs of total enlightenment. Are you in it? You probably wouldn't be watching this if you were, but if you happen to be, you're going to totally relate to this. This is going to be like, whoa, yeah. And you can go into that space starting today if you really get what we're going to talk about, total enlightenment. It's a space that you can go into now, no matter what's happening out there, that will rock your world. You ready? Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. What are you afraid of? Anything? You gonna say no? Bet you are. Bet you I could name something you're afraid of. Being broke, being on the street, dying alone, getting sick, nuclear holocaust. I mean, name it. We all have fears. We were born into it because we are light beings who are in density experiencing what that is. What happens when we go into enlightenment? That is the ultimate game changer. Ding, 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 you win. Now you can go off to something even more interesting that's not quite so painful, is planet Earth. Why is planet Earth painful? Because we're doing it. Nobody's doing it to us. There's no program you're stuck in. There's no prison. We are 100% the creators. You're all gods. These things you shall do and more. You can create a castle just as easy as a button. Hello, McFly. How many times do we have to hear this and we just don't believe it? Because we're rooted in the material world, and that's what we see, and that's what we experience, and that's what we think is. Now, what's awakening versus enlightenment? Now, this is just my own version, my own opinion on this, and I have many ideas about that. You might like this one. Awakening is the same thing as when you're in a dream state and you start to wake up. Maybe you're halfway in and out of it, and you're where you're dreaming, you're where you can actually do anything. You know, in your theta state, that's pretty cool. When you're halfway in between, you're like, oh, I know I'm dreaming, so, okay, I can like, fly or whatever it is you want to do. And so you're awakening, you're coming out of the dream state into the other world. And unfortunately for us, the real world that we're going into is here. This is actually the illusion. But I'm likening it to that because when you're coming out of a dream state, you realize the dream seemed so real at the time, right? It was real. Ah, but was it? Yes, all of it's real. Everything's real. What you believe and how you live your life is real. And so somebody else's reality is absolutely real for them. And if you don't believe it, then it's not real for you. What you believe is real for you. Awakening is when you realize that all of it's the illusion. Enlightenment, let's talk about the number one thing. You know that nothing's personal. What? Nothing can get to you anymore. You can actually experience the triggers of being human. You can have the feelings, but you never go into the state of struggle anymore because you know it's not personal, all right? Why do I say it's not personal? Because you don't relate to being a human anymore, and you know that nothing anybody does is about you. Because when you are in a state of density, the ego takes things personally. You hurt me. You said something nasty to me. You abused me. And so you think of yourself as an individual human being, separate from everybody else. And that whatever happened has no meaning. So number one is it's not personal. Okay, now let's take it up a notch here. Why isn't it personal? Because you stop seeing other people as personalities, individuals that do things that are wrong. Okay, wrong. There's no wrong. You realize that they are just coming from their own density, hurt, fear, and pain. That's why it's not personal. You see that. And so when somebody strikes out, you don't take it personally because A, your ego doesn't exist anymore as an enlightened person. An awakened person might still have some of that going on, but you're still very cognizant of it, right? You observe it more than react to it. But an enlightened person has let that go and realizes, this isn't about me. I am the target for somebody else's pain or fear or anger. And so they're striking out in a material world, and I happen to be what they're striking out at. In fact, people will strike out to the meek before the powerful egos because it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to have control over those people. That's why I say the meek shall inherit the earth, because the meek know that the real power is not in the ego struggle of trying to gain anything. Now, let's go to the next phase, and that is all of the things that happen on this planet, you recognize have deep meaning and purpose. They are intentional. Actions, all of it's intentional. Lest we not even be here, right? We wouldn't even be here because everything has purpose. Nothing's random, nothing just happens, nothing's an accident or chaos. Even chaos is intelligent, organized intelligence. So chaos ultimately isn't chaos because the one doesn't make mistakes. Now, when you recognize this, you become detached, not in a I'm denying these things, but you become detached to the illusion. And so enlightened people realize I'm a player in a holographic illusion. And so I must play out the role that I chose. And so you become detached from the role and you play it even better because now you know it's not what you are, it's just the game. And so you start to engage in the game more than you had before from the ego. You engage in the game from the higher thoughts of compassion, love, detachment, and you realize that you can't take anything with you. Next level, enlightenment. Anything that creates conflict over the material world, none of it goes with you. None of it's worth it. And when you let that go, when you let it go, you actually will receive more than you ever imagined. Some people who've let go have created more abundance because now they were not in, I have to have this to be happy, because that's a message of lack and that's ego. Enlightened beings know that they have everything and that whatever they experience here that may appear to be lack or, some dissatisfaction or let's just say a little pain in the material world is only a temporary journey and experience that has purpose and meaning. What does this mean? Is it another test for me to let go of the material world? Is it another test for me to realize my unhappiness is coming from me fighting to hang on to the material world? What would happen if I let that go? Now, I give an example of when I went through a divorce. No attorneys. Piece of paper, drew a line. You take this, you take this. We agreed, went through, packed our bags, hug, wish you well, and off on our way. And it caused no stress or strain because letting go felt so amazing because it was a new beginning. And there will always be new things and new material items and new whatever. Jobs and opportunities and relationships, there'll always be new ones. And remaking yourself an expansion is a positive thing. Letting go of that which is no longer working, holding you back, is a very heavy energy field that actually stops you from expanding into all the probabilities that exist for you that you can't even imagine. And they'll start showing up. And you'll think, I didn't even realize I could live in, Norway. And I met an amazing person there. And oh my gosh, then I got this job offer and things that you didn't even plan for. Because now you've allowed the universe, which is endless and unlimited, to send you to what? Unlimited probabilities. Enlightened people tap into that. And they don't define what it has to be. You can still have desires and place your order, because it's fun to use that power in this material world, because you would never do it to take away from somebody else. That's really impossible anyways. And so enlightened people also don't see others as a hindrance or problem, and therefore your entire past does not have to be forgiven. Awakened people forgive. Enlightened people know that there's nothing to forgive. What? No. Somebody did something wrong to me. No, enlightened people know no one ever did anything wrong. They just made decisions in whatever state of frequency they were in at the time. It doesn't make them wrong. It makes them dense and an experiencer, a teacher also, because if you're around that, it's really about what did I gain from it? What was I supposed to learn from it, instead of they shouldn't have done that. So you don't have to forgive somebody. You realize they tested me. They were my teacher. And whether they could make a different decision or not, which is always the case, we somehow had an agreement to play this out. And I could change my mind at any time, and so could they. So you don't want to go in the direction of density. You want to stay in that higher frequency and say, you know what? I would love to blame somebody else. But enlightened being doesn't, because then that would place you in the same position of what? Somebody who doesn't deserve to be forgiven or loved. You've never done anything wrong either. You've made decisions based on where you were at the moment, even if you were aware that you were hurting somebody. In fact, most of the time we purposefully do that. We do it on purpose, right? I'm going to strike out. I'm going to say something that's going to really get to you. So the bottom line is, are you enlightened? Are you awakened? Are you still wanting other people to be different? Are you still saying right, wrong, good, bad? Are you still seeing other people as the enlightened ones and the dense ones, the government and the this and the that? And that's still separation. That's not awakening. That's not awakening. It's really tough, because we do live in a separate world with individuals. And so what are you going to do about it? Let go and let God, because you are the creator. That's what's looking through your eyes right now. And you're looking at yourself right now. You and I, we are one energy. And we're experiencing what it's like to not be one perfect, unconditional, loving, and loved energy field, light being. What's that like? Experience it, but don't get attached to it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want some free videos, you can sign up for What Am I Manifesting? Or I know it's called Manifest Anything. Yeah, no limits here, right? Please subscribe. And you guys know that these are free videos. Come on over and explore what it's like to create an online business. If you're not creating income online, you're missing a great opportunity to do what you want with your life and how you earn and reaching audiences. You could change the world if you learned how to operate an online business. You can't just plop on there, think that if you're on Facebook or YouTube that it's going to get the word out, or help you to promote something that could help people's lives, change their lives. Or maybe you just want to do something really cool. Come on over and check that out. It's free. This is free. This is free. I'm giving away a lot of free stuff. And if you sign up for Manifest Anything, you'll get a free mobile app called What Am I Manifesting? It's reminders. I think it's 5 different reminders throughout the day. It catches you and catches your thought, because you'll be triggered all day. Even if you're in a super awakened state, you're in a dense world that's going to present challenges. You will continually evolve. They're opportunities, not a nuisance. We signed up for this. We're family. Yeah, this whole planet, we're a soul group. Oh, yeah. We were cray-cray coming over here, right? You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.